If you're curious about how to manifest anything in your life that you want, whether it's your dream job or your dream life or your dream home or money, whatever it is that you want to manifest and pull into your life, listen up, because I have got a few tips on how to manifest anything you want in your life. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in serendipity. I believe in quantum energy. I believe in universal intelligence. I believe that whatever it is you ask for and that you truly believe that you will get and deserve and have faith in that it's coming, you will receive. So with that in mind, you want to also be very careful about what you think about and what you ask for, because it is very real and it works. According to Wallace Wattles, our minds are made up of thinking stuff that forms things from the formless. In other words, if you want something and truly believe it can be yours, the universal law states it must come into being. Our thoughts become our actions that become things. So let's just say, for example, you want to change your career. Maybe you're tired of being stuck in that wheel. You feel like a hamster just going in a program every single day of your life. And it's time to stop the madness and just move into something else. Well, I'm here to tell you that I've done it twice and that you definitely can do it too. I can tell you that it's going to be daunting and confusing at first, but it's certainly not impossible. For me, what started off as my side hustle took center stage and became my new career. I transitioned from a full-time fashion designer to branding and marketing because it was what I was actually doing anyways. For several years, it was kind of in part with the design. I was doing PR, I was doing digital marketing, I was building websites, I was brand building because I didn't have the budget to hire all of these people to do these things. So I found myself doing it myself. But as a result, I earned a skill that I was able to transition into. So ask yourself that question. Are you currently doing something that could eventually take over everything that you're doing, where you could transition into a new career? Sometimes shifting into that career can be as easy as extracting one aspect of your current career that you're most passionate about and just doing that one thing. And niche is good, especially in a very noisy world. So if you can find your niche audience or a niche market, then that's going to be really powerful for you as well. I think the most important thing that you have to remember through all of this transition is that you have to keep your eye on the prize. You have to keep your mind focused into what you want instead of where you've been or what you don't want. And you have to have courage, faith, and a lot of patience to see it through, and especially faith. Because if you truly, truly believe that it's coming, then that is what's going to keep it moving towards you. So the question in manifestation, maybe in regards to your career, is what do you want the most? Now think about that for a bit. What most of us want is freedom, right? It's what I aim for most of my life anyways. Up until the last decade, none of us had as much opportunity as we do right now. We are living in a very, very interesting and incredible time where technology, creativity, and global connectivity allows us to do things we never thought possible. And we're learning spiritual practices at levels we hadn't before. Our brains are expanding at intervals and times that are unprecedented in human history. Because we have so much information available to us at any given moment, our minds are just expanding. And I just think it's such an amazing time and it's such an exciting time right now to create and to watch everything just kind of flow right back to us. So the question is, what do you want the most? If you're not even sure exactly what you want to transition into, like the new career, think about this. Whatever it is you love to do when you're not working, try to find a way to turn that into your business and go for it. Like, this could be a million different things. My aunt wants to open up a hamburger joint, a 50s style hamburger joint, right? But the thing that she was most excited about with that whole hamburger joint venture was decorating it. So when I heard this, I said, so you don't actually want to open up the hamburger joint, you would rather decorate it. So think about all those things surrounding ideas and find out and pinpoint the idea within that makes you the most excited. Find that excitement and just follow it. So whether you want to, like in my case, become a freelancer, a digital marketer, maybe you want to blog full-time, travel, be a consultant or a coach. Maybe you have a desire to make things, whatever it is, there's plenty of room for you to accomplish this. Our world is huge and there's enough for you. There is enough for you to take the market share that is yours. There's plenty. Never go into this venture thinking that there's not enough, or, oh, there's too many people already doing it, or I'm not going to be able to make any money with this. Don't go into it with that thought. Go into it knowing that whatever you truly believe is yours is yours. So a lot of people who enter the market with the thought of, oh, well, this is probably not going to work because there's already a gazillion people doing it, they're already doomed to fail because their belief is not matching to the outcome that they want to receive. The only difference between those out there who are doing it and standing above all the other people is that they believe that they can, and so they do. So here's a little bit about my story and how I switched careers several times through manifesting. But it didn't come without action. So just kind of be aware of that. So quitting my hamster in the wheel scenario and being financially independent and working from home or from Hawaii or wherever I found myself at the time, that was my ultimate goal 2 years ago. I was on a mission to make sure that I accomplished this too. But many, many years before this second epiphany of mine, I found myself in a similar place. The first time I manifested what I truly wanted in a career, I was in my 20s. And I wanted nothing more in life than to be a fashion designer. One night I was at a party and there was a lot of spiritual people there. And I was just kind of in awe by all of these people. Their energy was so amazing, right? They were just so many artists and spiritual gurus and dream interpreters and entrepreneurs and just these amazing people. I met this really incredible woman. She was actually the owner of the house and the hostess of the party. And she didn't know it at the time, but that night she changed the way I thought forever. She changed me. She taught me the valuable lesson of speak it and be it. She walked up to me, she introduced herself, and she looked at me and asked, "What do you do?" And I started with this kind of fumbling around, unconvincing, well, I want to be a fashion designer. And that's when she kind of cut me off and she asked me to state out loud right there, I am a fashion designer. And then she made me repeat her. And she watched me mouth the words aloud and she gave me a gentle head nod as she reinforced the statement. Speak it and be it. Speak it and become it. And that moment changed me forever. She was such a life-changing miracle. At the time, I was like a 26-year-old who had only one semester of design school under my belt. I had no money. And as for my personal spiritual growth, I was just a mere babe. I had only read In the Meantime, by Iyanla Vanzant. And my journey was just beginning and my world was just opening up, And this amazing woman was light years ahead of me, but I trusted her word beyond measure because she spoke with such conviction. And she had the proof to back it up. She was successful and she was confident and she believed in her worth. And that was something that was so new to me. She was truly a teacher and a guide in my life path. And guess what happened 2 years later? I was hired as a senior fashion designer at a local company in Dallas. I had no college degree, and I was earning At the time, $45,000 a year, which was more than I had ever earned in my life. It took me 2 years to get to that position, but in that 2-year time frame, from the time that I met that wonderful woman until the time that I got hired at that company, I had spoke it into being as to what I was going to be and who I was. And I designed dozens of garments and collections for some of the largest brands in the USA. I sold over 100 dresses under my own label that I had designed for my little bitty apartment. And this was before I got hired. But before all of this came into being, and after I met her and I said, I'm going to be a fashion designer, I envisioned myself as a designer. I said it out loud. I worked on myself. I honed my skills. I put in the work like every day. And I developed some pretty major street cred because of the commitment I made to be a fashion designer. And I manifested that dream job. So fast forward to 2014, and I had spent over 10 years in the fashion industry. And by this point, everything in me had like totally shifted. And I don't know if it was just I was changing or my desires were changing, but this is life. And sometimes when our mindsets change, sometimes our directions change and what we want to do, and we want to do something more fulfilling. And I think that's where I was at the time. And this could be where you're at right now too. So I was no longer interested in doing corporate fashion or designing clothes in the similar way that I had been doing it. I had been juggling fashion, brand building, social media marketing, all this stuff for the last several years. But now I just needed something that provided more freedom, less stress. I wanted a career that was more fluid. My current profession as a fashion designer, for me, it was just going to have to move over and make room for the new profession that I found myself in, which was helping business owners build their companies through digital marketing. And I struggled with this because so much of my life was spent in fashion design, like my very identity was built into it. And I was having to basically disassemble everything and tell myself and the world a whole new story, which of course is a lesson in rebranding. But I was shifting gears in my late 30s, early 40s, and it was weird. So not really knowing what to do, I kind of listened to every TED Talk and YouTube guru I could find until it finally sunk in. The overarching message behind every successful author, businesswoman, or businessman, or public speaker, motivator was this: decide. Make yourself valuable and stick to the decision. Believe in yourself 100% and be willing to go fearlessly in the direction and do the work. So I had already decided that fashion design was simply not conducive to me working from a warm beach in Hawaii or South France or wherever. And it, was just not going to be a part of my future anymore. So when I decided, I got rid of everything. I got rid of anything fashion related in my studio, and I decided. Decision creates change. Raymond Charles Barker once said, "The principle of life is that life responds by corresponding. Your life becomes the thing you have decided it shall be." Now, this is in the book, The Power of Decision, which I highly recommend reading. So after my big decision, and after I kind of went into autopilot and started purging all of these fashion things in my life that didn't serve or match to the end goal, my office space was now clutter-free. I no longer had the weight of dead, expensive projects hanging around my neck. And with all that fat trimmed, I was able to concentrate on the big goal in my life. And let me just say that nobody ever said switching tracks in your career is easy, and it was scary for me. It had plenty of ups and downs, but I truly hung on to the fact that I believed in myself and I believed in the law of the universe, that things were going to pan out for me, that great things were coming my way, and it was going to be amazing. And as it turned out, it happened so fast. And the switch it was like a light switch almost. The moment I decided and the moment that I cleared out my office and I switched those gears, like immediately I got contracts with clients and I was making so much more money than I was before. I wasn't struggling anymore. It was truly an amazing thing to just see happening. If you are feeling a sense of resistance right now to change, I want you to know that your mind is hardwired to resist change. Because most of us, if you've ever listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza, you know that most of us are in this daily program and that we are so used to running on the same emotions and living in the past and basing everything that we currently know now based on past events. But I want you to know that everything is new and unfamiliar until it isn't. So the moment that your mind gets used to the new, then that becomes the new familiar. And whenever your mind starts saying things, negative self-talk, you're not going to be able to do this, who do you think you are, you're not going to make any money, what if you fail? I want you to take that voice and I want you to respond to it. I want you to say, you know what? I appreciate that you're looking out for me, but you know what? I got this and everything is going to be great. And I know that you're scared, but things are going to be fantastic. So silence those negative voices in your head. As soon as you get used to the change and the more that you tell your mind to shove off, the less your mind will stop freaking out. So give that transition and that change some time to adjust. Just keep me moving forward and continue with that unwavering faith and belief that you can do this. You've got this. And that the universe, as Gabby Bernstein says, has your back. Let's talk about the power of I am. Now, most of you who are familiar with manifestation know that there is great power in those two words, I am. So what you want and who you want to be or the life you want to live, it isn't about asking and hoping that your wish be granted. It's not about negotiation either. It's about you being the ultimate creator of your life and your story. Creation begins with the statement of I am. Just like whenever I met this wonderful woman and she said, speak it and be it. I am a designer, right? So whatever it is that you want, you have to fill in that. I am. Define whatever it is that your big goal is. So you have this really big goal in mind, which is to travel or to be financially independent, meet the love of your life, or whatever it is that is your big goal. Write it down. And once you define that, all of the little goal steps along the way will be in alignment with that big goal, or at least they should be. If you're faced with a decision about something and you're not really sure, ask yourself this: is it in alignment with where I want to go? And if it isn't, throw it out and be okay with it. Just stay the course on what it is you want to do. Your actions must match that end goal. For example, let's just say you want to take a direct trip to Los Angeles. You wouldn't take a highway up to Montreal, would you? The same is true with your end goal. Once you've made up your mind for what it is you want, all of those decisions, actions, goals, your mindset, your intention, it should match with that end result that you want. And once you tell your brain where you want to go, it and the universe will help you in getting there. When we decide to be or do something, our brain not only sets us up to go in that direction, but we find we are accomplishing every goal along the way that leads to that big goal. And if you seem to find yourself kind of all over the place, it's most likely because your goals and thoughts are all over the place too, and you haven't clearly defined exactly what it is that you want. So remember that wherever your thoughts go, energy flows. So if you keep changing up the story, the road trip is going to be a long one before you finally get to LA, right? Another question that I like to ask if I'm not sure about what it is that I want is, what do I want to experience? So that's my question for you. What do you want to experience? If you find yourself changing your course often, if you find yourself not knowing what you want to do, but you know how you want to feel or experience, it might help you to determine which direction to go in also. We might find ourselves at times floundering because we're lacking something deeper and more emotional and more meaningful. Perhaps we're looking to address an emotional need, and we do this by trying to replace it with tangible things or projects or people or sometimes even addictions. We're going to summarize my top 5 key steps to manifesting what you want. Number 1 is deciding what you want. Decision is a powerful action. Do it without hesitation. Get clear on what it is you want. It's almost like deciding, crossing that bridge, and then burning the bridge. 2 is using thought and imagination to see it. Visualize and see yourself in the end with whatever it is you desire. And do this often. Visit this place often, and not only see it, but feeling it. Number 3, speaking it into creation. Don't allow for negotiation on who or what you want to do or to be. Speak it. It is yours. Believe it is yours. Number 4, committing to that goal 100%. This means staying focused. Commit yourself to become valuable in whatever it is you want to do or to be. Hone your skills. Learn everything you need to learn. Number 5, knowing it is yours and staying the course. Have faith. Have the belief. It's unwavering. It might be scary or tiresome at times, but you have to keep pushing forward, knowing that it's coming, knowing that it's working itself out, knowing that it's making its way to you. Your faith is what will fuel this manifesting. This is my number 6 too, which I feel is very important. Maintaining a positive energy field through kindness, happiness, joy, giving freely, gratitude. Make sure you spend a little time every day, maybe twice a day, thinking about all of the things that you're grateful for, even the little things. I find myself being grateful for the appliances in my kitchen. I find myself being grateful for my car or for the roof over my head, my comfortable bed. It's amazing how much gratitude will unlock everything in your life. It unlocks your heart. It opens your heart. And you need to be able to operate from your heart space to attract all these wonderful things that you want to attract. Create and maintain a positive energy field. Eat healthy, high vibe foods. Maintain a positive circle of friends. Be careful not to watch too much TV that includes violence or too much drama. Whatever feels negative to you or bothers you, free your life from those things. Most of all, whenever it comes to manifesting what you want, know that you are worthy and that you are pure love and that you are ecstatic creation in motion. And whatever you want is coming to you. Hold on to that and hold on to that faith. Be fearless.